Hey everyone, and welcome to our Give Live webinar. I'm Matt Cromwell, Head of Support at GiveWP and WordImpress.com. Give is an online donation plugin for WordPress. Our goal is to democratize generosity. We do that by making online donation forms as elegant, flexible, and robust as possible while still being very user-friendly. Unlike third-party platforms, we do not take any commissions from your donations. We leave all of that up to you and your payment gateway of choice. That enables you to have lower fees, and that means more people and causes can be hosting high-quality donation forms on their sites, which is the definition of democratization. So what is Give Live? Give Live is this webinar you're watching right now. It's a free webinar that we started to address any and all questions that nonprofits might have about doing online donations effectively with WordPress. Give Live happens once a month. Last month, we covered all things SSL, and you can still watch that episode on our site. Just go to givewp.com/give-live. Next month is going to be on Tuesday, January 10th, 2017, the new year. Goodbye 2016, good riddance. And it's going to be at 11 o'clock Pacific time, like always. We will be discussing donation form fields, the more the merrier, as a question. And make sure to set your calendars for that date, January 10th, Tuesday, January 10th, 11 Pacific time. Today's topic is all about recurring donations. If you are a site admin for a nonprofit organization, you most likely are continually looking for ways to engage your donors to give not just once, but regularly. You have regular bills and salaries to pay, so you need your influx of donations to come in regularly as well. That's where recurring donations comes in. Rather than doing big monthly pushes for one-time donations, start encouraging your donors to give on a regular interval, and both they and your organization will be happier. So if you're here, that's what we're talking about today. And if you have questions at all, then the little chat box on the side is, or at the bottom, is the best place to ask them. Seeing a little bit here, a little bit of bad buffering. Hopefully that resolves itself. Cool. We'll just keep moving ahead. If you have any questions, feel free to put them into the chat box there, and I'll address them as we're going along. Real quick, this is an overview of what we're going to be talking about today. This is the outline, basically. We're going to first talk about the real benefits of recurring donations for your organization and your donors, how recurring donations works technically, how Give manages recurring donations, the admin experience, the donor experience, and some campaign ideas. So we'll kick it off right away. The real benefits of recurring donations. There are many major benefits of recurring donations, and I have a feeling that this crowd is already very familiar with them, so I won't belabor the point too much. But here's a quick overview of those benefits. Recurring donors give more over the course of a year than one-time donors do. There's lots of statistics on it, and actually, if you're subscribed to our Give Live newsletter, I'm going to be sending out a PDF later with a lot of resources that I'm referring to here in the webinar. So make sure you're subscribed there to get that PDF later. But there are lots of data on the fact that if you encourage people to give regularly rather than one time, that they actually end up giving more over the course of the year. That's a real benefit to you, and it actually generally for most donors, it's just more convenient and easy for them to do it that way, and they're happy to be able to give more as long as they can spread that out over the course of the year. Being able to do recurring donations also basically helps you budget better for your organization. If you know that you have a certain amount of subscriptions from your donors, and that subscription amount is X every single month, you know that you can count on that coming in. Of course, you'll want to account for maybe that some will cancel month to month. So let's say you have a total of $10,000 worth of subscriptions coming in every single month. Maybe that is going to equate to more like 9,500 maybe. But you know at least that you have a recurring basis of between 9,500 and 10,000 every single month coming in over the course of the year. And as you see more subscriptions coming in, you can account for that as well over the course of your whole budget year over year. The next one is it helps smaller budget donors give more. Think young adults, for example. They do really enjoy being generous and giving, but they only have maybe $10, $15 a month to give. If you give them just one-time option, they're only going to give $10 or $15. But they know that they're going to get paid every second and fourth Friday of the month, and that they're going to have that $10 or $15 extra. It's just a couple Starbucks purchases. They know that they can do that every single month. So instead of $10 or $15 that you get one time, you'll get up to $120, $150 every single year from younger donors with smaller budgets, or anybody with smaller budgets. So recurring donations definitely helps you on that front as well. Lastly, it really emphasizes a connection and loyalty with your donor base. I really like this point. I think it's a really important one that not a lot of folks talk about really. But when you start to encourage regular giving, you give your donors a reason to keep checking in on what you're doing. They want to see where that money is going. They want to look at what you're doing. They want to know that the subscription that they have is valuable and that it's actually benefiting someone somewhere. And that also will make you start to think more of how you can communicate the benefits that of their subscription. The way you'll start to think more about how you can connect with them. Maybe that will influence the way you write your newsletters. Maybe that will influence the way that you do your internal reporting or external reporting or transparency reporting. Those types of things will really help to make a stronger connection with your donors, so that they feel like they know what's going on and they know that what they're doing every single month is benefiting your organization, benefiting you personally, and it benefits them as well. So that's a real general overview of how the benefits of recurring donations. Next, we want to talk a bit about basically how recurring donations works technically. This gets into a lot of our viewers, a lot of our users are site admins, and you need to understand exactly how it works. It's important for site admins to understand exactly how recurring donations work so that you can support your donors better and manage your site better. So here's a basic overview. At the time of a donation, as soon as a donation happens, Give does several things all at the same time. It sends donor and donor information to the payment gateway securely over your SSL connection. We talked about that last month. Don't forget, it's really a big deal to make sure you have your site being served over HTTPS with an SSL connection. Give sends that donor information to the payment gateway. It creates a new donor profile in your admin. It creates a new subscription for that donor. It sets up a process to trigger new donation transactions in the Give donation screen based on the recurring period that you set. It could be daily, it could be weekly, it could be monthly, it could be yearly. Whatever period you set, it sets up for those transactions to appear in the admin regularly. It also emails the admin of the new donation, and it emails the donor of their donation receipt. All of those things happen as soon as your donor hits donate with a recurring subscription. The other thing that happens is what happens on your payment gateway. Your payment gateway does several things at the same time as well. As soon as Give sends that information over to the payment gateway, the payment gateway creates a new donor profile, or it updates an existing one. It saves that credit card information, or it applies that credit card information that it already has to the new subscription. It creates that new subscription, and it assigns that subscription to the donor. So you could see that there's things that happen on the Give side, there's things that happen on the payment gateway side. That's what is going on technically. So that as soon as that subscription is created, then your payment gateway can trigger those next child donations at whatever period that you've set, whether it's daily, weekly, monthly, or yearly. that's what's happening on those two sides. Now, how does Give specifically manage recurring donations? It's important to understand that from this point on, the responsibility of charging your donor's card is entirely in the gateway's hands. It's not in Give's hands. Give does not actually do the charging of cards. Give does not trigger the additional charges. The only way Give could do that was if it saved the credit card information on your website and sent it again to the gateway. That's not secure. You do not want to be responsible for storing credit card information on your site. That's why Give only triggers the subscriptions, and the rest is handled by the payment gateway. The payment gateways take the burden of securely handling credit card information and saving it, storing it, triggering those new donations. So recurring donations in Give also affects your reports and your goals. If you choose a goal on your form and you enable recurring donations on it, then every donation that comes in from a subscription will increase the progress of that goal. Those payments are also reflected directly in your reports. So once a donor donates to one form, and then let's say 2, 3, 4 donations come in from that subscription month over month, your form reports, the reports that for that specific form are going to reflect that new income that's come in every time. That's an overview basically of the Give side and the payment gateway side. Checking in to see if I see any questions. I just see a bunch of people being friendly with each other. That's great. Hi, Paul. Hi, Kevin. Hi, Devin. Hi, Ginger. Cool. Again, if you guys have any questions at any point, just type them into the chat box and I'll address them as soon as I can. Okay, next I want to talk a little bit about the admin experience with Give and recurring donations. I'm going to switch over here to the screen. Here I have a basic admin choice form. So there's several things that happen that you can do with recurring donations when you are creating a form. There's a couple really important aspects that we want to do as well with recurring donations as a site admin that I want to clarify first real quick. Again, it's an absolute requirement that you have an SSL certificate and that you are forcing all your traffic over HTTPS. This site I have here is a test site, and it's not running over HTTPS because it never makes any transactions whatsoever. This is just for testing purposes. But if you are doing live donations with real donors, with real credit card information, it is a must that you are using an SSL certificate. That even goes for PayPal standard nowadays. So make sure that you're doing that. We have lots of resources on how to do that on our website. The other important thing is choosing your payment gateway. I'm actually going to go to our website real quick so you can see our documentation on the payment gateways and what's supported. So if you go to our Give site, givewp.com/documentation, you can navigate to add-ons and then recurring donations. And we have an article here about supported payment gateways. We're continually working to add recurring donation support to more and more of our gateways. But currently, these are the 4 gateways that support recurring donations: Stripe, Authorize.net, PayPal Pro, and PayPal Standard. That's really important. It's not possible to do recurring donations with Give with any other gateway besides these 4. There's a third-party company that just developed another gateway called PayFast, and that supports recurring donations now as well. And I can add that into our PDF docs if you want information about that at all. But this is where you find information about supported gateways. The next with each of these is that each of them has basically one additional step to set up the gateway for recurring donations. And in Stripe, for example, that's called a webhook. You do need to set up a webhook so that your gateway can communicate with Give securely and let it know what's happening with the subscription status. This is really important for allowing your donors to be able to cancel their subscriptions. It really only can happen through this webhook. And on that supported gateway documentation article right here, you'll see that each of these is a link to describe what additional things you need to do with those gateways in order for them to support recurring donations correctly. So that's really important information. After you have your gateway, after you have your SSL certificate, after you have your gateway set up, after you have your webhook set up, now you're all ready to go. Next, you need to enable recurring donations in your actual forms. So when you have the recurring donations add-on set up, you'll come into a form. This one I call basic admin choice. And here I'm just doing it as a set donation. And then immediately you have a recurring section here. And you have three options. No, this one's not recurring at all. Yes, it's defined by the admin, or yes, it's donor's choice. This one is yes, admin defined. And as soon as you choose that, it's going to ask you what period you want it to be and how many times you want it to be. You could set it for 0 for it to be forever, recurring forever, or you can set the number of times that it should go. So this would be an example of doing basically like a yearly, monthly subscription so monthly for 12 times, and then it's all done. I set the donation at 50. I'm not allowing a custom amount. So if they're going to give on this form, it's going to be for 12 months, for $50 each month, and that's it. And I'm not setting a goal. Let's view that form. Here it is. You can see we're in test mode here. Basic admin choice. So you'll see that there are no donor's choice checkbox here. All it shows right away is $50, and it clarifies monthly for 12 months. And I could do a test donation. And here's my donation receipt immediately. And it shows me here, Devin Walker is the donor, and for $50. And here's the name of the form. Here's the donation ID, and the payment method was a test donation. And right below that, you're also seeing the subscription details. This is showing immediately, this is a $50 a month subscription that was just triggered. The next time it's going to be charged is January 13th, 2017, and the progress is 1 out of 12. That right there is pretty much all the information that they will need. So let's head over to our admin again and look at that on our reports side. Here it is right here. We see Devin Walker. We see all that same information. We can go into the details and see all that information here. You can see here the subscription meta, subscription ID number 1. It's completed. If we click on that, it'll take us to Devin's profile here, and it'll show that he has this initial donation of $50 and no additional payments have been made yet. So on January 13th, you'll see additional payments here. If for whatever reason the payment gateway triggers a new payment and it's not reflected here in your Give admin, you can always add it manually right here so that things stay synced up. That's an important point because, like I mentioned previously, as soon as Give triggers the subscription, it gets sent to the payment gateway, and then the payment gateway handles everything from there. The payment gateway is making those charges. Give is just trying to reflect those additional charges automatically, but they are not technically literally synced together. Something could happen on the payment gateway side that's not reflected on the Give side. So that we have these checks and balances in order to allow you to add things manually in order that everything is reflected correctly. Cool. Let's look at a couple other form examples. Here's a basic, same one as the admin choice, but this one's going to be donor's choice. Here's the donor's choice one. We have it set to $5, but this one is allows custom amount. We're going to change it to $15, and This is going to make this donation monthly. So right here, really large, we're giving them the option to make it a single donation or a monthly donation. This is a really popular choice for a lot of our Give users. They want to be able to just make any form with and allow any amount to be typed in, and give the donor the option right here real easily and clearly to make it a one-time payment or a recurring payment. You could change this to be weekly, or daily, yearly. You can make that period be whatever you like. But this provides a lot of flexibility in a short amount of space, making it really obvious and intuitive for the donor to donate exactly the way they want to donate. And this will work the same way. If they uncheck it, it'll be a one-time donation. There will be no subscription created. You'll just see it one time and it's all done. If they do check it, you'll see that subscription created. It'll be triggered. It'll happen on the period that you set the same way. Let's look at another one. We got now multi-level forms also support recurring donations. This is a more advanced type of form, and it might take a little bit of time for people to understand it. But basically, I have it set here. There is no custom amount at all. There's only these 4 options. So this one here, I labeled it as $100 one time. That's the one time. That's not recurring. But you can also choose $100 monthly. You'll see how the amount here doesn't change whether I click this one or I click this one. But I could click $250 one time. Now it's $250, and that's just going to be a one-time payment. Or I could do $250 monthly. Recurring donations actually adds the period to the end. So right now I have it duplicated. Let's change that real quick because that looks a little awkward. You come into the admin here, and you can see these are our levels. This is $100. And is it recurring? No, it's not recurring. This one is recurring. Yes. So let's take off this part where it says monthly. And this one down here, $250, is also recurring. We take off that one that says monthly, and I'll update it. First page. Here we go. $100 one time, $100 monthly. $250 one time, $250 monthly. Last form example is multi-level donor's choice. This is a great one too. Again, I set it here so that you do have the different levels. This time I chose the drop-down display method instead of the buttons, and I gave it names of houses basically. Tent level is $15, camper 30, RV all the way up to mansion level $500. They could do that one time, or they can click the box and make it monthly. We also have an option in the form that you can decide whether this should be checked by default or not. And that's really up to your preference. Some donors are like, yeah, I really want to make sure that that's checked by default. I want people to know that that's what we prefer. We prefer a recurring donation amount. Others say, oh, I don't want people to not notice it and find out that they did a monthly when they only wanted to do a one time. It's really up to you and your donors and what your preference is. But we have that option built into the form. So here they choose whichever level they want, and then they can choose whether that's one time or monthly. The way we built this is really to try to provide you and your donors with as much choice as possible. There's a lot more coming into recurring donations in the future, but we already find that organizations are really enjoying recurring donations with Give. They've been really effective and helping people raise a whole lot of money. Checking in on the questions. Cool. All right. No questions yet. Sounds good. Moving on. Last thing I want to do is share some live examples from large organizations. These are not examples of Give recurring donation ones, but this is just to illustrate how you can do recurring donations from really large organizations. So, for example, the Humane Society of the United States. This is their homepage. It's actually not so responsive. They need to work on that part. But you can see right down here, here's a donate box right on their homepage. Be a humane hero with your monthly donation for animals. So they have it set here right away, 19 bucks a month, or some other option. They make it really clear that giving monthly is what benefits them the most. Some nonprofits are a little bit squeamish about asking about monthly giving. In general, larger organizations make it really clear that this is the way to support them the best. And here's another example. National Wildlife Federation. This is a great form. I really like. They did this really well. You can see they have multi-level options here, just like we do in Give. This is something you can absolutely do with Give as well. And there's the other option. It's multi-level, but you could choose other and give $72 instead. And then right here, they make it really clear, help wildlife more, make it monthly. And it's just a checkbox, just like it is with Give. They also have this option for gifts for their donations. That's a nice incentive for folks as well. But the prominence of that make it monthly is really nice, I think, on this form. Here's another great example. St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, make a donation to end childhood cancer. Here they have the multi-level thing again, just like Give has. And they have the checkbox, make this monthly. There you go. These are large organizations that are making the monthly donation option front and center. I got two more. These are really fun to look at. And they're also great for design inspiration as well. Here's UNICEF, help save children's lives. Here they made it into a tabbed interface. They have the one-time gifts here, or you could switch over to monthly. And when it's monthly, they just make it just any amount you want. They don't do the multi-level. I think that's an interesting approach. I kind of prefer the checkbox. I think just choosing whatever you like here first and then hitting the checkbox is probably much more intuitive for donors. But they make it here explicit. And honestly, if it were me, I would make the monthly be the default tab rather than the one-time be the default tab. Nevertheless, this is another approach that they're taking. Last one is an organization I really like called Habitat for Humanity. They have a nice form here as well. And the very first option they give is donate monthly or donate one at a time. I like this radio box option here. It's something I'm thinking about that maybe we want to implement with Give as well, because what this does is it makes you make the choice. With the checkbox, they can leave it. They don't have to necessarily make a choice. If it's already checked for them, then they just go ahead. Or if it's not checked, then they might just forget to check it. But by making it a radio box with two options here, it makes them make the choice. Do I want to do it one time or do I want to do it monthly? That might be a nice option that we could integrate into Give at some point. And then we have the multi-level buttons here again, and then all the information. Cool. That's what I got for today. This is recurring donations. I'm still not seeing any questions, but now is the time. I'm going to leave it open for just a little bit for anyone who wants to ask some questions about recurring donations. I'm available and ready. Keep in mind also, recurring donations with Give is available in our Plus bundle. It's not available in the basic bundle. It's the Plus bundle, and it's available to buy by itself, and it can be used with PayPal Standard. So if you wanted to use just the free Give plugin and then only recurring donations, that's absolutely possible. We do highly recommend using a payment gateway instead, because then you can do credit cards directly on your site. They're not saved directly on your site, like I said previously, but they are processed on your site through your payment gateway. That's best practices, the best way to have higher conversion. Okay. I'm not seeing any questions, so I'm going to sign off. Thank you all so much for being here, as always. And next month, January 13th, Watch out for our next Give Live, which is on form fields. The more the merrier, as a question. And thanks so much. We'll be in touch.